All right, so today we're going to be talking about our study abroad trip to Germany and doing our Google Earth tour. We start at Appalachian State University. We will drive down to Charlotte International Airport, and then we will fly to Berlin Brandenburg Airport in Berlin. We then would drive to our hotel, or be driven to our hotel, I should say, to the Karma Berlin Meet, which is the hotel that we are going to be staying at. And on our first day, once we get something to eat, we are going to go over to the Charlottenburg Palace, a big, beautiful palace that was built back in the days of Frederick Wilhelm. Then we are going to go to Monster Ronson's Ichiban Karaoke, which is in this rooftop bar for a little unwinding on our first night. Our second day, we're going to start at Kreuzberg, which is a big tower that has a beautiful view of the city just outside Berlin. Then we're going to go to the Gendenmarket Berlin, which is a big open market that takes place in this square. Then we're going to go to Ritter Sport Colorful Choco World, which is famous for having some absolutely incredible chocolate. Next, we go to the Brandenburg Gate, which of course is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Berlin. We can't not go see it. And then right next to it, we are going to end at the Reichstag, which is the German government building. We start out our next day at Museum Island, which is not really an island, but it does have a couple really cool museums that we wanted to go see. After spending our morning there at those museums, we go to the New Walk, which is a monument to a moment in German history. Then we're going to go outside Berlin a bit to the Glienicke Bridge, which connects Berlin and the mainland of Germany to this beautiful island just outside in the lake. After that, our next day is going to start at the Pergamon Museum, which is one of the more modern museums in Berlin. And it's just an absolutely beautiful place to go, as you can see by this absolutely stunning, huge mural. Then we continue in museums with the German Historical Museum, which is a museum dedicated to German history. Then after lunch, we go to Fernsturm, which is this tower that was built in the 1960s with an observation platform at the little globe. Our next day, we start at the zoo, which is the first of 2 times we will be visiting the zoo due to how big it is. And next, we go to the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, which is a beautiful Protestant church dedicated to Kaiser Wilhelm and has a bunch of really cool artifacts in it. Then we will go to Mauer Park, which is another big open plaza area with lots of vendors and shopping. Our next day, we go to Tiergarten to start, which is the home of the iconic Victory Column as pictured here, and we just couldn't go to Berlin without seeing it. And then on a less exciting note, we go to the Holocaust Memorial, which you have to go see when you're in Berlin. It's an absolutely stunning memorial to all the lives that were tragically lost. Our next day, we started the Neuss Museum, which is a museum dedicated to just history and has lots of really cool things to see. Then we go to the DDR Museum, which is one of its more modern museums, and it is just supposed to be really cool to see and have a lot of cool things. Then we go to Orienstab, which is a little neighborhood in Berlin that's famous for food and shopping. Then we go to the tree house, which is a cool little house that's built well up into the trees and just blends kind of right into the natural area. We start out at Gendachnerch, which is one of the many churches, and then no trip is complete without a trip to the Hard Rock Cafe. And my computer could not load the imaging for the Hard Rock Cafe, so the street view down to the plaza with it in is the best I could get. We then go to the Soviet War Memorial, a huge moment in German history, a lot of lives tragically lost, and it is only fitting to go visit it whenever you're in Germany. Then we go to Treptower Park, which is a neighborhood in Berlin, or just outside of Berlin, I should say, that has a bunch of cool shopping and just a lot of natural areas. Then we will end the day at the Berghain nightclub, which is one of the biggest clubs in Europe and is famous for its entertainment. We go to Alexanderplatz, which is another big plaza that with a lot of shopping and food and things of that nature. And next we go to St. Mary's Church, one of the Catholic churches. Keeping with the churches, we go to the Neukirch, which is this big, beautiful church with a beautiful dome on top. Then we have some fun and go to the Game Science Center, which is really a fancy word for arcade, and it's in this Potsdamer Platz. And then we go see the remains of the Berlin Wall. We start our next day at the Museum of Applied Art, and we finish the rest of the day at the Berliner Philharmonic. We start our next day at the Dahlem Museum, which is a museum dedicated to a neighborhood outside Germany and its vast history. And we do our networking, lunch, and social at this Irish pub in Berlin. We start the next day at the East Side Gallery. It's this beautiful long wall along the east side of the river that is just covered in beautiful artwork done by artists. And next we go to the Berlin Wall Memorial. As with the Berlin Wall, if you got to see both of them, the memorial is absolutely incredible to see with lots of powerful moments as you see just this moment in history. Then we go to the Panoramapunkt, which is a another observation point to look out over Berlin. And then right outside of it is Potsdamer Platz, which is another plaza with shopping and food and things like that. We start the next day at Kaufhaus des Westens, which is a big shopping mall kind of area. And then to have a little bit of fun, we go to the Legoland Discovery Center with a ton of really cool Lego builds that are honestly just so incredibly impressive. We then go to the Topography of Terror, which is the Nazi History Museum, which is actually built in the old headquarters of the Waffen SS, the Nazi Secret Service. And then from there, we go see Checkpoint Charlie, which is one of the only still standing crossing points of the Berlin Wall. And then we spend the afternoon finishing up at the zoo. On our next day, we go to Grunwald, which is a beautiful mansion area overlooking a small lake. And then Friedrichstadt Palast is an old building that was dedicated to uh, the Fredericks. We start this day at the Olympiastadion, which is the home of Hertha Berlin and also was the Olympic Stadium when Berlin hosted the Olympics. Then we go see the Bell Tower and Torch, as well as Hufzendlung, which is this beautiful natural area wedged in between apartment buildings. Supposed to be a very beautiful tourist attraction when it's in season. And then we go to the Gemäldle, which is another one of their art museums. Then we go to the Hackstocker, which is another little shopping center, mall kind of area. And then our last activity in Berlin is the aquarium. It's called the Sea Life Aquadome. Berlin has many aquariums. And the next day, we get up and go right to the Berlin airport. We will then fly back into Charlotte. And then we'll head back up to Appalachian State University. Thank you.